Good morning, everybody. This your boy, Armed Forces Sports TV, and today we're gonna be talking about Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Is it a fight that I want to see? Yeah, it's a fight that I want to see. Do I want to see it right now? Not necessarily, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm not into the let the fight marinate, let the fight build, and all of that. But I'm all for a fight marinating and building naturally. And I feel like this is a fight that can marinate and build naturally, which means I don't feel like either guy is avoiding each other. I don't feel like either guy is scared of each other. Uh, there's not a weight issue. Terrence Crawford really showed that he could handle a bigger, rougher, and tougher fighter. And we ain't got to talk about Errol Spence. He been showed us that he could handle guys that are bigger than him or a little bit stronger or faster and things like that. He showed that ability. He's proven himself at 147. But the thing I want to say is that I feel like those two they're being boxed in by the rest of the division. So I'm gonna name the to me what I feel like is the heavy hitters at 147. At number one, I got Errol Spence. At number two, I got Terrence Crawford. At number three, I got Puerto Rican boy from Philly. Damn shame I don't remember his name. Garcia. And at number four, I got Sean Porter. And at number five, I hate to say it, but as far as the name, I got Manny Pacquiao. And at number six, I have Keith Thurman. And a lot of people saying, well, why you put Manny Pacquiao ahead of Keith Thurman? Well, I put Manny Pacquiao ahead of Keith Thurman because at least Manny Pacquiao is fighting. At least. At least the motherfucker can get up off his ass. Even though he ain't fighting nobody, even though he ain't, even though he basically will get the belt and hold on to it, at least he'll get out there and fight. At least he giving us something. Whereas Keith Thurman, and I'm in this state, if I'm not mistaken, he's from Florida, Florida native. You know what I'm saying? He ain't doing shit. He ain't doing a goddamn thing right now. Nothing. I'm talking about your guy is missing. And I even thought, I said, let me ask some people in Florida, do they know Keith Thurman? Motherfuckers in his own state don't even know him. Florida's not a boxing state. It's a very relaxed state. It's as you can say, I would say, trying to think of the word for it, a tourist state. It's very touristy. It's not, they don't come here to watch violence. Like I notice all the tourists here, people with a whole bunch of kids coming down for the summer and stuff like that. And then after the summer is when it seems like Eastern Europe has their summer for their kids, which is when our summer ends. So they come on down here and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's my welterweight picture, and I feel like all these other guys are ducking both of these guys. They're waiting for these guys to. I don't want to say weaken each other. I feel like Terrence Crawford could get his ass whooped by Errol Spence and still go whoop them guys. And I feel like if, which I highly doubt, Terrence Crawford beats Errol Spence, let's say he does whoop Errol Spence's ass, I feel like Errol Spence still go whoop these other guys. So I think that what they're doing by trying to smoke these guys out and make these guys fight each other, they still gonna beat your ass because of the skill level. Neither guy is faint-hearted. Neither guy seems like they'll be discouraged if they get a loss. They still look like they'll be hard-body. So I mean, I don't know what these guys are doing, or I don't know if these guys think that they're gonna sit around and wait for these guys to beat each other to a pulp and then come beat one of them. The talent level is so, the talent and the skill level, might add, that is so far, because these guys, they work so much harder than the rest of the division. It's so far spread out and so far fetched that I think it's okay that they fight now because they have the buzz. Now it's the difference if, you know, Errol Spence gets out here and gets, um, I don't know, let's say Danny Garcia, and Terrence Crawford gets out here and he gets Sean Porter, and they meet then. But it's still shaky right now. It's still shaky because it seems like these guys don't want to fight him. So do you want to sit around and wait and miss out on fights and be inactive, waiting on two guys that didn't want to fight you in the first place? And another thing I want to talk about is using other people's name. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Danny Garcia and Sean Porter, me personally, I don't even think that they truly want to fight Errol Spence. That's my opinion. I don't think they want to fight Errol Spence. I think they shaking in their boots. I think they didn't went ahead and use that man's name. They used that man's name to promote their fight because nobody was interested in Danny Garcia Sean Porter fight. Nobody was interested in that shit. I mean, people was gonna watch it, but nobody was clamoring for it. But once they said, "Hey, the winner is going to fight Errol Spence," that creates a whole nother dynamic. Once you say the winner is going to fight Errol Spence, once you say the winner is going to fight Errol Spence, or the winner is going to fight Terrence Crawford, here we go. Now people are going to tune into the fight because they want to know. Everybody's clamoring to see, hey, who's going to be Errol Spence's next opponent? Who's going to be Terrence Crawford's next opponent? Or whatever. Who's going to get the loser? Who's going to get the winner? That's all it's about. They using these guys' name and they want absolutely no smoke. I feel like, you should focus on the fight in front of you. But if you really want a guy, you don't want the guy to forget. You don't want the guy to stray off nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You don't want the guy to start thinking about other opponents. Or none of that. You know what I'm saying? If you Danny Garcia, you want Errol Spence, and you say you tired of people putting him ahead of you when you've been out here doing this shit for years, I let that shit be known. Hey, I'm finna beat Sean Porter ass. Everybody know I'm finna beat his ass anyway. You know what I'm saying? And after that, Errol Spence, you next. You ain't gotta overlook Sean Porter to put Errol Spence on notice. Even though I know Errol Spence gonna beat the dog shit out of either one of them. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't gotta overlook a guy to put another guy on notice. That's called laying groundwork. You know what I'm saying? That's laying groundwork. Just because you fucking with one female don't mean that you don't let the other female, hey, I'll see you later. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta abandon the other one. Or I ain't gonna say nothing to her to tell me done with this one. Nah, you gotta lay the groundwork. And them guys ain't doing that shit. They ain't laying no groundwork. After they didn't use that man's name, and now the sport got a buzz, I ain't heard nothing else about neither one of them saying Errol Spence's name. I ain't heard a damn thing. And it went dark, pretty much to me. Looked like pretty much, they just got comfortable now. Because now everybody's talking about that fight. But had they not mentioned that man's name, nobody wouldn't have been really talking about that fight. And then as they're talking about the fight, they would have pretty much said, yeah, they're going to fight, but they ain't going to fight Errol Spence. So, I mean, I feel like Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence have to look at that. That's a big decision. Do we go in here and we knock each other off? Or do we wait and just fight other people? Because me, I don't see Errol Spence losing to none of them guys. I don't see Terrence Crawford losing to none of them guys in the welterweight division. I feel like they're pretty much cream de la creme. You know what I'm saying? Creme de la creme. Cream of the crop. What I think they should do, I think they should wait. That's my decision. If I was their promoter or their advisor, you know what I'm saying? Because we know y'all the blockbuster. We know y'all gonna push each other. We know both of y'all got similar talent levels. So what I would do is see what fights y'all can get for your next 2 fights. If it don't seem like great opponents or a big buzz, go ahead and fight each other. There's no need to keep waiting, especially for Bud. You know, with Bud fighting style, he could possibly last longer than Errol Spence because he has more of an boxer style. But Errol Spence, he's still young. He okay. He can go in there and headbang with motherfuckers and be alright. But that's the key right there. What do we do? And I know that every fighter's looking for their big match. And they're each other's biggest match. And I feel like they can be each other's biggest payday. As far as what they're going to get paid, it's just what are you willing to risk? Because you're risking time, you know? And the biggest fight, besides each other, for both of them, I think would be Keith Thurman. And Keith Thurman has created a buzz. Unfortunately, it's a negative buzz. But he was on such a good track record. I feel like, you know what, it's a negative buzz, but it's still a good buzz that you can make money off of. But waiting for that guy's like, I don't fucking know. Waiting for money to grow from a fucking tree. It seems like it ain't never gonna happen, unfortunately. But that's pretty much my thoughts on the Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence situation. You know, I haven't sat down and created a prediction yet because before I make a prediction about either guy, I like to watch every fight that I can find. You know, I look at some of the amateur stuff, but fighters change a lot. Fighters change a lot from the amateurs to the pros. You know what I'm saying? But I like to watch every fight. You know what I'm saying? So far, I've seen every Errol Spence fight that I could find on YouTube, and Terrence Crawford, I've seen, I would say about 70% of his fights. Mainly his last. I would say if I watch 70% of his fights, it'd be his last 70%. So I'm still working my way back. You know, and as I work my way back, I can say, oh, this guy improved. Oh, his stamina looks better. Oh, his hand speed looks better. His footwork looks better. His punching power looks better. Oh, he didn't have a fight. He didn't have a jab fights 1 through 10, but round 11, 12, and 13, those fights, his jab seemed to be getting sharp, getting better. You know what I'm saying? It became computer-like, automatic. He don't have to think about it. So that's pretty much my thoughts on the Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence. If I was them, I would wait 1 to 2 more fights. And that's pushing it. Just to see if you can get another one of these big name guys. And after that, if not, go ahead and do the damn thing. Both of y'all still gonna be successful anyway. Because I feel like if y'all lose to each other, ain't nobody fucking with y'all anyway. Y'all can still reign. And if Errol Spence comes out on top, he can move up. Because that means he's conquered the biggest mountain down there. And these two are the only guys I'm going to give an excuse for not being undisputed. You know, I want undisputed in every weight class. But if Errol Spence doesn't get undisputed, well, Terrence Crawford has already got it, so he got that notch under his belt. But if Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford don't get undisputed at 147 at some point, I'm not mad. Because you got two guys fighting for a belt that don't want to fight them, and then you got fucking Keith Thurman, punk ass, that don't want to fight nobody. He said he don't even want to fight nobody in the top 10. So in my mind, I'm like, what the hell make me think he want to fight Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence? So I don't even see that happening. So I mean, with Errol Spence, if I was him, hey bro, if you go ahead and you clear out 147 and you could beat Terrence Crawford, move up to 154. You got duckers there too. You move up to 160, you got duckers there too. So it's pretty much, I ain't mad at them guys if they don't get undisputed. Because there's too many guys that don't want to fight. You know what I'm saying? But don't leave 147 without fighting Terrence Crawford. Like I said, 1 or 2 fights. But this your boy, Armed Forces Sports TV. You know what I'm saying? I'll be back later with some more videos or some more topics. You know what I'm saying? I'm finally caught up, but y'all take it easy, man. I'm going to be up out of here.